Don't you hate people that are better than you? Well, what if someone had the keys to make you better than everyone else? You're looking at him.
A better you starts today.
Seriously though, you know somebody that goes through their day and gets more out of it than you. I know people like that. I'm married to one of them. I'm going to get a divorce just so I can feel better about myself. But you are always going to, as soon as you go down this self-help path, you will notice more and more that results are directly linked to how well you are using your time. There are two ways, and I really like this metaphor. There's two ways to get more out of life. And you have to imagine it like a pipe, yeah? So the first way to do it is that you manage your time better. I know this is a very boring thing. Yes, okay, please just wait for a second. I just need to explain this one little concept to you, and then we'll get on to how to make you awesome and how you're going to have fun doing it. But you need to understand that there are two things. You can either lengthen the pipe or you can widen the pipe. That's it, right? So you can either spend more time on the things that are going to advance you in life, or, and this is the widening pipe part, you can become more effective at the thing that you are doing so that you spend less and less time doing it. A master of anything is obviously going to be much, much better at completing the task than a novice. That's what we're talking about there. Those are your two things. Those are your two options. That's how you get more juice out of a day. We talk a lot about how to widen the pipe. Very little about how to lengthen the pipe because I just think that it is very boring and it is done to death. Having said that, shut up, me. It's time to listen to me. We are going to go into this. The main reason that there are people that are getting more out of their day than you are. They are moving towards their goals quicker than you. They are having more fun than you, conversely, as well. A lot of it is because they're not doom scrolling, and I do know people like this. People that are able to teach some sort of side class. They are able to learn an instrument. They have all these things that I'm not remotely interested in. I'm learning a language. Good for you. Good for you if you are doing that. That is great. I started with Latin and I realized, man, it's just a more boring English. I don't know why I did that. I should have learned something that sounds really interesting, like Spanish. I'm so bored even thinking about it, but if you want to do that, that's great. If you want to do something like, I don't know, get really good at the Dance Revolution thing, that seems like an even better use of your time, doesn't it? At the time zone. Whatever you want to do, they are able to do it. They are able to do it more efficiently and more effectively than you. Their house looks better than yours. Their relationships are probably better maintained. They also, conversely, seem to be able to do things that you simply don't. Like, they're able to sit there and watch TV. They're able to sit there and watch Netflix. And they're still able to get more out of their day than you. What's going on there? There's two major things that are happening. The first one is, and I know that we've talked about this before, but we talked about all of these things before. I don't know, just the word productivity, and I go, ugh. But then when I think about, how to get juice, I'm like, I like a juice. Same thing. What we are going to be doing with the general concept of getting more out of your day is we're going to be looking at three concepts here. But the first one that is so obvious, usually when you meet these people, is that they have figured out how to be more of a Renaissance man than you, which is the idea that Da Vinci really liked everything that he was doing. He was really fascinated with every little experiment that he was undertaking at once. And he was doing many of them constantly and moving in and out of them. And I still don't to this day think that anybody has achieved the same level of output that Da Vinci has. A lot of it was because he enjoyed what he was doing. He had figured out how to enjoy what he was doing. You talk to any Indian guru, they will say that enlightenment is finding joy in the things you despise. What a great attitude to life. It's because you have a lot of moments in your life where you think, ugh, I have to tie my shoes again. Why haven't they invented a machine to do this? Or I grew up as a Raj in India and had a servant that specifically did that. My life sucks. You're thinking that. What's happening in your head? Your brain is dragging its feet. I don't want to do that. That sounds lame. That's what your brain is doing. It is, do I have to? And so it is looking for outs. It is looking for outs from the task at hand. Every time you're excited about anything, oh boy, I can't wait to go to the doctor and get one of those scary syringes in my ear. I can't figure out a way to enjoy that, but the masters that probably have. Every time you're looking forward to the task at hand, you're saving time because you want to jump right into it. You are not dragging your feet. When you are in that task, and this is how you're widening the pipe as well, not only are you saving time because it's just, yay, but the second thing is you are widening the pipe because when you enjoy something, you are immersed in it. Immersion equals education. When you are, this is the whole theory behind Steiner and Montessori schools, I think. Am I wrong about this? In fact, if anybody did go to a Steiner or Montessori school, can you tell me this? Were you indoctrinated into a cult, or is that the best way ever to learn and become like a fully rounded child? What do you reckon? I'm so fascinated with Montessori and Steiner schools. What is going on there, and why is there so much wood? Now, tell me what you think about that in the comments, you fucking freak hippies that had rich parents. Then everybody else, tell me this, yeah? The whole point of that whole education system, I think, is to get kids to do what they're interested in, because if they're doing what they're interested in, they're going to be immersed in it more, which is great if you are naturally interested in astrophysics, for instance. What if you're naturally interested in street sharks? I don't know what happens then. But that's the basic gist of it. Let the child learn what it wants because it's going to be interested in what it learns, so it'll actually learn. That's pretty much it. Yeah? You are widening the pipe every time. This is the great thing about being an adult. You can train and condition your brain to enjoy things that you don't necessarily enjoy. You can sit there and think of reasons, and I do highly recommend that you do this as a general practice, why you are looking forward to doing the thing that you are about to do next. That's because we want you to get into the habit of jumping into the next thing. Now, conversely, when you start thinking about this, you're going to be endlessly paranoid for the rest of your life about, I'm wasting time constantly. There is this weird little mesh thing that happens. But, as I'm always saying with self-help, life is filled with problems. You have solved a far worse problem, which is that you sit around with your bum stoner mates and they are doing nothing with their day. Absolutely nothing. And it takes them forever to go from one thing to the next. I think it is because, as opposed to, there's two things there. They either just don't want to do things that are challenging, because doing something that is far less challenging to them is challenging. Do you understand? Like, their pipe of what they can consume and absorb in their mind is going to be much smaller than somebody who is constantly thinking about how to get the most out of a day. It just is. It's going to be harder. When you just spurt information at them, they're going to sit there and go, huh, that's crazy, all that stuff. But nothing is going to be absorbed into their heads. They're stupid, hazed out, hippie heads. Really giving it to the hippies. I don't know. I've got a love-hate relationship with them. I do like how much they like Mother Earth. I do not like how much they like themselves. And they think that they're right about things, but they've always just got these concepts of like, Earth is like love, man, and it's filled with like energies and level. And it's like, yeah, that's one level of looking at it. The other level is that you live in Byron Bay and you are somehow richer than me and you don't do anything. So I've just disproved my entire point. Yet again, I've done that many times in these videos. But let me continue on like I'm right. They are part of a weird little subsect of human beings. And I think that it mostly just comes through like, it's just the energy's coming through the world. Oh, really? Did you have rich parents? Yeah, but that was just another energy. Anyway, when you are looking forward to enjoying those things, you are going to be looking forward to moving them. Henceforth, you are saving time in terms of that pipeline going towards it, but you are also widening your pipeline because you are more immersed in what you are doing. So you are going to get more effective at completing the task in the future. That's the first thing. They enjoy tasks more than you do. That's why they're ahead of you. That's the first reason. The second reason is, and I love this Tony Robbins phrase, it really did change my life. I think that he thinks it's the concept that changed his life the most as well. And it just does. Yeah? Net. No extra time. Every time I mention this, I always want you to write down one new way that you can net. Netting. What is it? Classic one. I'm a fat piece of shit. I need to exercise. I also like watching this Netflix show. I don't know, like boy. You've got to stop swearing, but F-Boy Island. F-Boy Island. So what do? You get on it, don't you, Porky Pig? You get on your little treadie, and you sit there and you, I think it's here for the right reasons, and you watch that at the same time. Instead of sitting on the couch, you are, at the very least, exercising while doing it. That is a better habit that you can implement. Then you can move up to, I'm going to sit there on my exercise bike and read a damn book for once in your life, once there's at least fat in your brain. And then you can keep progressing up the chain and doing more and more cool things. Now, one of these examples, and this is something that I implemented years and years ago, and I think that it has paid absolute dividends, is the idea that I was thinking, again, this is just what happens. You just become like a type A workaholic if you do follow these principles of self-help. Like I'll say again, far better problem to have than having the other problem of doing nothing with your life. I think anyway. And so, I find it really hard to, when anyone ever says, ever, come out and have drinks with us. You know the last time, or pretty much the only time that I'll ever go out and have drinks? Purely for my fiance's birthday once a year. She knows not to even ask me for the rest of the year. This is how dead set I am against socializing. What's the point? Yes, okay, like a lot of people can look down on me, but I don't like when that happens. I like it when it's in reverse. But the way that I justify it through my mind, the way that I keep some of my friends, the ones that I hold nearest and dearest, which obviously are my friends on the podcast, is that I film us hanging out. And I hope that that gives some value to people in that we are hanging out in a social environment, having a laugh, just the guys. And we're also talking about world events, and we're talking about general just catch up of the news. There's a reason to tune into it. So you are providing a service. Number one, no extra time, right? Providing a service. It is monetized. I don't really keep any of the money. I just give it to my friends so that they have an income stream. We get to hang out, and I get to keep some semblance of the idea that, like, no, I have friends. So it's killing 5 birds with one stone. 5 birds with one stone. You can do these. You probably have examples of these. In fact, I would very much like you to write those down. I would very much like you to write those down. What are the things that I'm doing now that are going to, that I can currently do 2 things at once? Like, yes, it is a myth that you can't multitask. Having said that, shut up. You do it. You do multitask at certain points in your life. And that's cool. Another one that I do, and everybody hates this, and I can fully understand why, I refuse to stop, is when people are talking to me, and it's general chit-chat, I will just put on my little 40-year-old woman workout of P90X, and I'll sit there and I'll do my aerobics, but going, so you think about that, do you? Okay. Well, I think that you should dump them. They seem like a life goal. I mean, a life obstacle. That's the one. I'm not really paying attention to you at the moment, but I'm paying enough attention to them. And it's sort of, the humdrums of it. Everybody despises it. Nonetheless, I get my workout. I get enough of the small talk out of the way. God, I'm a cunt. But, yeah, you can be like me. And then the other one is, say that I need to relax or something like that. Exactly a really good example of this. Tony Robbins was saying, I didn't want to make all these calls, but then I remembered I have a jacuzzi. And so he just sat in the hot tub and then made all these business calls. And so he got to do something mad and relaxing and got to do a bunch of business calls at the same time. Very simple things like that. When I'm coming up with what I'm going to talk about in these videos, you know what I do a lot of the time? Housework. I sit around, walking around the house. Oh yeah, that's a good self-help principle to be talking about. I'll remind people of that. I walk outside, I've done 5 or 6 tasks that otherwise I'd be dragging my feet going, I don't want to do that. What's happening in my head? I'm looking forward to doing these videos. I've tricked myself into thinking that this is going to be fun when it's just me standing in the same position over and over again. Just having Groundhog Day. But Tropical Paradise Groundhog Day, am I right? Genuinely real. And yeah, on top of that, I've got a bunch of things done that need to be done around the house. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. How do you kill 2 birds with 1 stone? How have you done it in the past? How is another way that you can implement? That is a great habit to implement. The third way, and this is the most important way, that they are more productive than you, is going to be behind the paywall at Jordan Shanks. That's right. If you sign up, you can get up to 3 extra videos a week. That means that from Monday to Friday, you are going to have me sitting there telling you, you are not doing enough, you need to do more, and you will thank me for it. 10 years in the future, if you have somebody sitting there saying this constantly to you, prepping you up, motivating you, also giving you a bit of a kick up the bum, imagine how much better and more ahead in life you are going to be. I mean, look, the results speak for themselves. I was just reading out what a lot of the cheapskates do that watch these and give absolutely nothing in return. Very nice of you. I was reading out a lot of the things that they've accomplished with their lives, and that's from just 2 days. Imagine if you said someone breathing down your neck every day, apart from the weekends, because, you know, as we all know, that's the Sabbath. So we're not going to be counting the holy days, but you can get up to 5 videos a week. Up to 5 videos a week. If somebody, it is well worth the money. Nothing that you can spend your money on is a better investment than that. Nothing. I stand by it. Of course I would. You know what else? The other reason that I really want people to sign up to Jordan Shanks is because I would very much like to build this out like Friendly Geordies, because I think that it can have more of an impact. When you are looking at the macro, everyone sits there and goes, yeah, those guys are bastards. Oh, I'm not going to do anything. When you are sitting there and telling people individually, no, you should be contributing more, I think that that is a great thing for society, because I think that what the world needs is more competent people. And when you have more competent people, they respect more competent people. You know what's an incredible indicator of who's voting for the Labor Party now? You know what their constituency is? Isn't this amazing? Educated people. That's it. And it doesn't matter. This is the first time in human history that the Labor Party is winning in the demographic of people earning over $200,000 a year. Why? Because if you're earning over $200,000 a year, you're pretty damn competent, usually. Now, obviously, the ones that they're not winning in is the multi-millionaire, but the billionaires. They're not winning that demo. But everything from $200,000, so the upper middle class, right down to the working class, it is a broad constituency of society. The only thing that is really holding them together is how educated they are. The idiots are voting for the Greens and the Libs, because obviously they're going to be falling for those scams, aren't they? Either a culture war on this way or a culture war on that way. That's politics. What vibe are you going for? But anybody that has any semblance of seriousness to them looks at someone like Chris Bowen, for instance, and says, there's a guy that knows his shit. There's a guy that's getting things done. There's a guy that's implementing something really hard and striving to go to the top. And then, you know, they hear someone like Adam Bant being like, Grace, they're not doing enough, like the climate crisis. And shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, you just know that he sucks, and he's just like, he's like, you can just tell by the way that he talks and like how broad his concepts are in his head that he is not competent. This is it. The world is changed by competent people. That's what I want. I want more competent people in the world. The key to that is self-help. So I think that really you should be giving me cash at Jordan Shanks so that we can expand this project like we did Friendly Geordies. Imagine if we had 1 million more competent people in the world. That is the new dream that is juicing me. And if you would like to contribute to that, thank you very much. And if you do, that's great as well. Wow. I'm giving you a rare compliment on this channel. How is this a self-help channel? It's nothing but insult.